Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is John. I document full self-driving in downtown Chicago using Hardware 3. Now today I have the unique privilege to test with AI 4 using the latest version of full self-driving, version 14.3.3. Stay tuned to the end where I do a comparison with the reaction time between AI 4 and Hardware 3. Now regarding Hardware 4, is it really what it's cracked up to be? Is it way better than Hardware 3? Are Hardware 3 owners truly missing out? What is the deal with Hardware 4 in parking? Does it work every single time? I'm going to test all of these things and see if I notice any abnormal behaviors, if I notice that it's a lot better, maybe a little bit better, or is it on par with Hardware 3? Obviously, Hardware 4 is going to be better than Hardware 3, right? Well, the answer is obvious. Of course it is. It should be. This is a much better hardware platform. It's 3 to 5 times better in terms of speed and performance than Hardware 3. So there's no doubt about it. But for the average owner that doesn't care about what hardware is in their car, does AI 4 feel sentient compared to Hardware 3, for example? A lot of reports are saying that version 14 is super sensitive, certain versions at least. Here a bird flies across the street. My car didn't slow down at all, so I think I would have to drive it a lot more to experience that little nuance, but today's drive should give you an idea of what to expect. I'm taking my car to downtown Kalamazoo. You can see the sun is shining between these leaves here. It's interesting lighting. Speaking of different lighting conditions, if you don't have a sunshade inside of your Tesla already, I would consider getting a manual, very easy to pull up sunshade like this. This is going to keep the interior of your car cool. It's also going to protect the interior from sun damage over time. Now, because this is a manual sunshade, it comes with a lower cost, but you definitely want to use a discount code like TechGeek at checkout to save the maximum off your order. This is a very cool product in my opinion, and I'm very happy to share it with all of you. Thanks to Hansshow for sending this to me in the mail. And now, back to the video. One thing I will say is that it's very nice on Hardware 4. The steering wheel with version 14 doesn't kind of sway side to side. It's very subtle if you're using a Hardware 3 car, but right now the steering wheel kind of jitters back and forth ever so slightly. And that for me is a minor nuisance, but we don't have situations like this coming up where the car slows down for a dog that's on a sidewalk, that's attached to a leash, that shows intent to going into the road. See if you can catch this. The dog is on the right. You're gonna see, it's hard to see. There it is. Look at my car. It actually swerves into the middle lane. Here's another view of it. Now, swerving is one thing, but slowing down is another. No person would slow down for something like that, and I saw the dog well in advance. And I knew that the dog was not going to go into the road. So these little things, especially when it slows down like that, can be startling to a new user. And these are the things that need to kind of be sorted out. So there's a constant battle between how much you respond and how little you respond to certain things. And people get mad when it goes over potholes, but they get mad when it goes around a shadow or slows down for something that it shouldn't. So what is the correct behavior? Well, when you have a bicyclist like we have right here, watch how it slows down. It's hard to see here, so let's show the in-car experience. We're going 27, here 26, 25, 22. So it slowed down for them. That was really nice because the bicyclist was going toward my car. So in that case, it was great. I felt like the car was keeping me safe at all times. But there are, like I said, situations where it just does things unnaturally. It is not exactly what a human would do. So I'm kind of on the lookout here for anything that takes me off guard or that feels unnatural throughout the duration of this entire video. And coming up here, I'm going to be having my car park. Here it says no turn on red. And as soon as it turns green, the car goes, it stops, it goes, it stops. It kind of pumped the brakes. Let me show in the car what this looked like as well. here we are green, and it's hesitating. It was kind of like pumping the brakes there. I don't know what that was all about. Bottom line, there's really not a ton to be missing out with, in my humble opinion, with Hardware 4. I mean, Hardware 3 owners, I think they're constantly feeling like they need to upgrade or they need to get a new car. But especially with parking, you're going to see coming up here, my car parks itself. It's supposed to be going into a parking lot. Now, I tell it to go into a parking lot, and you can specify, you know, side of the street, driveway, parking lot. There's a lot of different options. But before we get to the parking lot, take a look at this train situation. It's still funny to me that trains show up as semi-trucks and vehicles on the screen, but it's not a big deal as long as it stops, and it did this great. And Hardware 3, by the way, would do the exact same thing. It would have stopped and done everything identically. And here's the parking lot. It's right up here past the stop sign. It's supposed to go right, and the pin is actually showing inside of the parking lot here. Past these cars, it's supposed to go into this area. And I don't even see a spot where you can go into the area. So the pin must have been dropped in the wrong spot. But it just kind of comes here and it gets as close as it can to the pin and then just puts itself in park. Now it's blocking all these cars here. So really, if this was like a robotaxi or something and you set a pin, it should intelligently go to a parking space ahead of that pin or before the pin in the appropriate location. Now take a look at this intersection here. There's nobody here. It stops and it actually slows down. It's like creeping and then goes through the intersection. That did not feel very natural. I mean, I'm nitpicking this software, but we're at that stage now where we need to kind of get into these finer details and really evaluate them. Most of this video, like I said, is 5 times the speed just to save you a ton of time. And then at the end, I'm going to compare the reaction time of Hardware 3 versus Hardware 4. And in that situation, there's no doubt in my mind that Hardware 4 is way better than Hardware 3. So from a safety standpoint, yes, absolutely, it's worth it. Look at this blinking yellow light here. A human driver would drive straight through here. My car slows down a lot here, and that felt awkward. Again, these little nuances that, I mean, this is just one drive. I'm sure if I drove it, 10, 12 times, I witnessed the same types of behaviors happening in situations. And look at this, we have to go left here. It gets all the way over to the left, and watch the lane selection here. We need to get all the way over to the right. Granted, the lines on the road aren't in the right places exactly, but that's just, if someone was behind me, that would have been very awkward. Again, I'm nitpicking here, but it's important to point these out. The rest of the drive here, thankfully, no issues whatsoever. It goes down the roads just fine and takes me all the way back to the residential neighborhoods. Now, I wanted to touch on something that is really critical to the success of full self-driving. A lot of owners expect full self-driving to drive like they would, and when it doesn't, they try to correct it. They provide feedback. There's a little screen when you disengage now with version 14, and you think that with training it or by trying to correct its behaviors and reporting the issues in your region, for example, if you have a daily commute and you always go from point A to point B and it constantly makes the same mistake in the same area, either due to a sign that it can't read correctly or a street that isn't in the navigation correctly, or whatever it is, there are situations where it just does not do what you want it to do or what you need it to do. And today, in its current state, you cannot affect the behavior directly. And it doesn't change quickly either. It takes multiple versions, sometimes a year or more, before it starts to do the correct thing. And for some owners, it doesn't do the correct thing even after many years. So this, in my opinion, is the biggest hurdle that full self-driving has. It's really specific to the region that you're driving it in. Now, if you live in California, where there is a ton of data because there's just a lot of Teslas driving around, it will probably drive better than if you live in Kansas or Maine or wherever it is that you're testing. So these things, I think, need to be improved to really increase the adoption rate overall. Now, let's get into the differences with the reaction time between hardware 3 and hardware 4. AI Driver posted a really great video showing the reaction time with David Moss jumping out in front of the car, except he used a dummy. Take a look at the reaction time.
And what we're going to do now is count frames and see when the car takes evasive maneuver. So we got 1 frame, 2 frames, 3 frames, and 4 frames. On the 4th frame at this video at 30 FPS, it is already decided it is going to take an evasive maneuver around him. The car's reaction time here was 0.13 seconds.
So a couple of things with this. Now, I don't mean to throw any shade on AI Driver's video here. I'm actually really good friends with him, but there are a couple things I probably would have done differently. First of all, when it shows that it's going to start avoiding the path on the screen, that's one thing. For me, it's more important when it starts to slow down. But you can see even as it's approaching this turn in the road, it's already starting to slow down. I don't know if it's because of the turn in the road, but look, 37, and then it drops 36, 35. I'm going to count when it starts to react to slow down to him coming out. So let's start with the first frame here. It's 31 miles per hour. Here's the foot right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 frames, and then it slows down. Could be a coincidence because it's already slowing down for the turn. I'm not sure. But yeah, 4 frames is pretty great. Definitely beats hardware 3. But I wish that he would have looked at the bigger picture and compared more clips than just one. Let's take a look at hardware 3. I did this exact same test, but my video didn't get nearly the same coverage. But take a look here with hardware 3, very similar test. So I'm going to break it down. Now, it's very hard to tell exactly when to start counting frames here, but you know, it's hard to see here. I certainly didn't see him. I'm going to count when his arm is hanging out right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Sorry, the frames were uneven there, but 17 frames, that's 0.567 seconds. Now, an interesting fact here with this is that for realistic hazard detection, according to an MIT study on road videos, younger drivers needed between 220 milliseconds to 388 milliseconds to decide on avoidance. The overall avoidance, which is perception plus action, often totals 0.4 to 0.6 seconds for alert drivers. That's for very alert drivers. So this would count as an alert driver. We're right in that range. Now, if you're not alert, it's obviously going to be worse. It's estimated that it's commonly 0.6 to 1.5 seconds or more, depending on the visibility and the decision complexity. So I think it's still very impressive that hardware 3 is responding in 17 frames or 0.567 seconds. But that's just one test. Let's take a look at another and see if it's the same reaction time. All right, let's count this out here. So the max speed here is 24 miles per hour. We are going to stop it the minute that it starts to change speed to slow down, the same as we did before. The question is, when do we start the count? I'm going to start it right when his leg is sticking out. It's hard to see his upper body. It blends in a little bit. Look at that leg, though. That's very clear. We're going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right there, it changes at 17. Very consistent result. We're talking within 1 or 2 frames of each other. At 8 frames, the tentacle, the blue tentacle, started to show up as if it was beginning to slow down. So 17 frames, that's still not bad. Hardware 3 deserves a lot more credit than it gets, and I think we should be very happy for what we have. Hardware 4 is obviously way better, and everyone should have the latest and the greatest, but not everybody can afford it. So be happy with what you have is what I would say, and be patient for a hardware swap, because hardware is what will be necessary in order to achieve these faster reaction times. All said and done, and in conclusion, I think Hardware 4 is great. It's definitely better than Hardware 3, but I'm not itching to get it as much as I used to be just because of those little unusual behaviors that still exist. They happen with Hardware 3 and they still happen with Hardware 4. I think Tesla is still working on a lot of things, especially these edge cases and parking. And when v14 or AI5 comes out, who knows what hardware will solve everything to allow unsupervised. We don't know the answers yet, but we are getting a lot closer, and so many people are getting very excited in the Tesla community, while the rest of the people out there have no idea or choose to ignore it. And that is perhaps one of the most frustrating things for me, is that so many people still don't realize how good the software is. The vast majority of people watching my video are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing. It goes a real long way towards supporting me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and until the next one, have a great day.